knew I wasn't feeling well, but damn, wait. What? Is this for real? Am I? No. Man, I knew I wasn't feeling well on my last nap, but geez, I ended up here? That can't be right. Where am I? Okay, well, I'm here. I'm going to make the most of. What's up, everybody? Chris McManamy here. Some of you may recognize me from Strub Snap Swaps previously. For those of you that don't know, I was part of the historic Strub Snap Swaps Day 9, where I took everybody around the great city of St. Louis. Boom, right there. Took everybody around St. Louis, and Chris Strub was gracious enough to be on my account, showing off everything about the nonprofits that he was working with in Missouri. However, I am not here for that today. I am here today because I wanted to share my thoughts, because I haven't had a chance to do this yet, and I want to thank Chris Strub for giving me the opportunity to be on this. I don't want to have trouble. I don't want to have trouble getting words out. I guess this would be a one-take snap. That's exactly what this is. So anyway, late last year, I had heard about through Periscope and Blab and all these other platforms about a guy who was traveling across the country, and he did 50 states, 100 days. He was the first person to live stream, and then I found out not only was he live streaming, he was also Snapchatting from each of those 50 states in 100 days. I couldn't believe it. I thought this was such an amazing feat, for real. Not only did this guy live stream from all 50 states, 100 days, I found out that he wrote a book about it. And at first, I kept hearing about this book. At first, I was hearing the story, and then I kept hearing about the book. I'm like, man, this guy wrote a book? That's impressive. And what happened next is very interesting. I'm going to be honest with you guys for a minute and be candid. I am not much of a reader. Yeah, I'll read, and I do know how to read. Oh, don't give me that. I know how to read. But I just wasn't one to pick up a book, sit down, read it. I was more of a visual guy. Videos, images, movies, things like that. But to actually sit down and read a book, not going to happen. So I think I totally surprised everybody when I decided, and even myself, when I was going to go pick up this book, 50 States, 100 Days. It was going to happen, absolutely. And yeah, I'm absolutely glad that it was Kindle only, because there was no way I was going to carry around a physical book, not in the digital age. And every book I've bought since then has been digital, but Chris Strub's was the first that I decided, yeah, I'm gonna give it some serious read. It's not like one of those books where you buy it and then forget about it, or you forget you got it, or whatever. No, I bought this book with the intent to read it and give my honest feedback. So to put things in perspective, the book, I have my notes here, the book was released December 17th, 2015. I picked it up January 31st, 2016, so there wasn't a lot of time in between when the book was released and when I bought it. Because again, this was one that I knew I had to get pronto. And once I picked up the book, I couldn't put it down. It was just chock full of great, I mean, I just can't say enough. It was just an absolutely fantastic book, front, cover to cover. Because I mean, it had everything. It had highs, it had lows, full of emotion, joy, sadness, drama. I mean, anything you can think of was in this book. And it is absolutely not fiction. Absolutely not. Because I can think that a couple of the journeys fresh in my mind. I think a lot of people can echo this sentiment as well. A lot of it was, I'd have to say, youth rebuilding New Orleans, because the fact that it's 2016 and they are still feeling the effects of the devastation of Hurricane Katrina. It just shouldn't be that way. But they got a great thing going there, and I remember it when Chris visited that and jumped right in. That was just incredible to see. And the fact that they're still, to this day, I mean, not just fighting the storms, but still this organization is still going, that says something right there. And of course, the other one that I know is everybody's favorite is the journey that Chris made to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Abby for president. And that one kind of choked me up a little bit. The others were great, but that stop in particular choked me up. I think because it hit so close to home, because Chris Strub was introduced to a 6-year-old girl named Abby, And at the time, my daughter was 6, and the way he was describing her kind of reminded me of my own daughter. So there was a little bit, I don't want to say an emotional tie per se, but there was something there, some emotion, some feeling there that I could definitely identify with that situation. But maybe not her situation, but just the fact that she's so ambitious, intelligent, and just ready to go, knows what she already wants to do, wants to be president. My daughter wants to be a veterinarian, wanting to save others, wanting to be something, want to be the best you can be. I mean, just all of that. Yes, I'm in my kitchen. That's where the best light in the house is right now, because I have odd lighting in my house, and I'm going to try to there we go, holding it without pushing the button. I have, as you can see, I got the book in front of me right here. There was one other organization that I did not want to leave out, and I think this is an absolute great cause, because we see this problem way too much, and I didn't want to leave this one out. I'll do this in the next snap. And if the organization that I'm talking about is Youth on Their Own out of Arizona. And I think this is very unique because too often homelessness is out of control. It should not be an issue, especially in this age. But I do want to read an excerpt from this, because I think this is amazing what Youth on Their Own does with the homeless youth in the area. I guess the most famous part about Youth on Their Own is the mini mall. And I quote, "When you hear mini mall, it's probably nothing like you've imagined in your head. The mall is about 12 shelves full of foodstuffs, toiletries, and some clothing, with a big scale strategically in the middle. Tucson's homeless youth are invited to come collect 10 pounds or less of items per week under the supervision of staff." And of course, what they do is they keep this mini mall stocked, and just they keep it refilled, and they take donations from the community. And I think that's absolutely great, because one, it gives there is some staff, whether they're volunteers or whatnot, and then also it gives something for the homeless youth, and I think that's an absolute great cause. And that right here stood out. And I know that this wasn't the only one in the book, and of course there were so many other great stories in the book. I mean, there's just so many good stories. But aside from all of the good, I just felt an overwhelming sense of respect when, I'm going to tell you in the next snap, okay? So I'm going to continue this. Whenever, I couldn't even imagine sleeping in my car for the number of days that Chris had to sleep in the car. That's a level of respect right there, and he affectionately calls it the Honda Hotel. And anybody that can do that and brave through that, it's right at the top of respect in my book. Absolutely. What's funny is that the book was written so well that whenever I got to the sections where Chris talked about how he had his I don't want to say mental breakdowns, or having discrediting himself, I was right there saying, I felt like I was right there saying, "Chris, you got to get up, you got to keep going, you're doing a great thing." I was like cheering him on, even though he'd already made the journey and already wrote the book. That's how I felt. It felt like, and I meant this in my Amazon comments. So yeah, I felt so emotionally invested. I literally, I felt like I was there city by city, organization by organization, state by state. I felt like I was there for the entire ride through all 50 states. It was insane. And that is a very powerful feeling. If you can get a book to do that, in a journey and a story, not just a book, a story. If you can do that, you've already won. So anyway, I don't have much more time. I just want to wrap this up. I didn't want this to drone on and on and on, but I just want to give my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, and not just have somebody say, "Oh, go read my Amazon review." No, it doesn't work that way. This is how I really feel. And I know I was kind of goofy a little bit at the beginning. I kind of want to do something a little bit funny for this takeover. But honestly, this book, you are missing out. If you have not read this book, or at least bought it, you are sorely missing out. Go to TeamStrub.com. The link is right here. You screenshot it, head on over to the site, buy the book. It's if you don't have a Kindle, that's okay, because you can actually, if you have an iPad or an iPhone, you can get the Amazon Kindle app. the official app, sign into your Amazon account, and it will synchronize your book. So you can buy it and then deliver it through Kindle. And that way you have an electronic copy right there. Again, TeamStrub.com. And of course, not only will you get the actual story, but embedded links in the story are the Snapchat videos and the YouTube videos and everything you can think of in the articles where he was able to get media coverage for the event. You will find links at the end of each chapter, and that's how it's broken apart. Each state is its own chapter, and I absolutely love the quotes at the beginning and the picture of Chris with the organizations. Love it, love it, love it, love it. First off, I want to thank TeamStrub for giving me this platform, because I've been dying to come onto his account and give a Snapchat book review. And I usually don't do this. I think the last book review I did was in high school for a book report or something. But no, this is way better. This is absolutely much better. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everybody, for checking out this Snap story. And if you want to connect with me, I'm going to put my Snap code up on the very next screen, and you can add me and connect with me right here on Snapchat. Thanks, everybody. See ya. Oh, yeah. And since I know TeamStrub loves St. Louis so much, and this isn't a Cardinal snap, let's go Blues! I had to do it. Had to do it. All right, I'm done. See you guys. See you guys later. Chris, it's all yours, buddy. I'll see you around, man.